Hello friends, welcome to this series lectures of the Mathematics 1. In last session, we have seen infinite series. In today's session, we are going to continue it. In the last session, you have seen topics like a partial sum, convergence and divergence of a series and the telescopic series. In today's session, we are going to check out test for divergence and Cauchy's integral test. Now, first we are starting with a theorem. The theorem says that if sigma un, whereas running from 1 to infinity, is any convergent series, then the limit of nth term is 0. That means limit n tends to infinity, un is equal to 0. But the converse is not true. That means the original theorem says that the series is convergent, then the limit of nth term is 0. But the converse is not true. That means if the limit of nth term un is 0, that need not implies the series is convergent. That means it may be convergent or it may be divergent. So you cannot write down you cannot decide the convergence directly by applying limit to the un as we have done in a sequence. Now the example of this one we are going to check it in the last in this session. Before that, we are going on to the test of divergence, which is obtained from original theorem. That means that what is the test of divergence? If the limit of un is not 0, then the series sigma un is divergent. That means the limit of nth term of a series is non-zero, then the original series is obviously divergent. Now, going with one example. Here we have taken the example n square upon 5n square plus 4 is divergent. So we have un is equal to n square upon 5n square plus 4. Applying limit to un directly, that is n limit n tends to infinity, un that will be a limit n tends to infinity n square upon n square 5n square plus 4. Divide numerator and denominator with n square, and that will give you limit n tends to infinite 1 upon 5 plus 4 upon n square. Now, applying limit, that will give you answer 1 by 5. Since this value is non-zero, and since it is non-zero, so by test of divergence, this series is divergent. Now, going with one another example, is the series 1 plus 4 plus 7 plus 10 plus so on convergent? Question mark. So we are going to decide the convergence of an arithmetic series. Now, since the given series is arithmetic series, and if you have to find out what is the nth term, then un is nothing but a plus n minus 1 times d, correct? So a is here 1 and d is the difference between two consecutive terms. It is nothing but it is 3. So putting that values, that will give you un is equal to 3n minus 2. Now applying Sn, that means Sn is nothing but the partial sum, that means sum of first n terms of a series, that is u1 plus u2 plus u3 and un. Now put the values of u1, u2, u3 up to un, and that will give you 1 plus 4 plus 7 plus up to 3n minus 2. You are already aware of sum of first n terms of arithmetic series is nothing but it is n by 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 times d. So a is 1, b is 3, put all values, that will give n by 2 into 3n minus 1. So if you are going to apply the limit to Sn, then it will be infinite. And since it is infinite, so by our original definition of convergent and divergent, the series is divergent. What we are going to do is, we are going to do this sum by another method, that is our test of convergence. That means we are going to apply limit to un directly, and un is 3n minus 2. If you are applying limit, then you will have value infinite, which is non-zero. So by test of divergence, this series is divergent. Now we are going on to one another example. discuss the convergence of 1, minus 1, 1, minus 1, 1, minus 1 and so on. Now see, this is the alternative series because one term is positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative. So if you are writing UL, then UL will be minus 1 raised to n plus 1, correct? Or you can write down minus 1 raised to n minus 1 also, because if you are going to put n1, then you will have minus 1 raised to 2, that will be 1, n2, then minus 1 raised to 3, that will be minus 1 and so on. Now, here we are starting with a partial sum. So we cannot find directly partial sum. So I have written it in the simple form. S1, that is the sum of first one term, that is nothing but 1. Now S2, that will be a sum of first two term, that will be a 1 minus 1, that will be a 0. Same manner S3 will be 1 minus 1 plus 1, that will be 1. S4 will be 1 minus 1 plus 1 minus 1, that will be 0, and continuing in this way. So if you are continuing this way, then you will have S2, S4, S6 and so on are 0, and S1, S3, S5, S7 are going to be 1. That means S even terms are 0, S odd are 1. So S2n is 0, S2n minus 1 is 1. That means if you are going to apply limit, then you will have more than one limits. And since limits are more than one, that means your series is divergent, or you can say that it is oscillating. Also, you can apply the simple test of divergence, and you are applying the limit to the un. Then minus 1 raised to n plus 1 has a limit either 1 or it has a minus 1. So in either case it is non-zero. In that case, by test of divergence, this series is divergent. Okay, so you can apply any test. Now we are going to define the positive term series. As an infinite series is said to be positive if in the series all the terms after some particular term are positive. That means if some of the finite terms are negative in starting and then after all the terms are positive, then the given series set is said to be a positive term series. Here we have written one example: minus 7, minus 5, minus 1, 1, 5, minus 1, 5, 23, 13, 23 and so on. So here see, your first three terms are negative and then after all terms are positive. That means this series is a positive term series. Because finite terms are negative, then we are going to ignore it. Now we are discussing the Cauchy's integral test. What is the Cauchy's integral test? Let f be any continuous positive decreasing function on interval 1 to infinity and un is equal to f. Then sigma un converges or diverges according to the improper integral 1 to infinity fx dx is finite or infinite. That means sigma un is convergent if integration 1 to infinity fx dx is finite, and is divergent if this integration 1 to infinity fx dx is infinite. So now you only have to find out the integration, and the limit of integration will be depending on the interval of n. That means your n is starting from 1, then your integration will be starting with 1 to infinity. Same manner, if it is starting from 2, then it will be 2 to infinity. If it is starting from 10, then it will be 10 to infinity. So whatever the first term n is starting with, according to that you have to put the limit. Okay. Now check out one example for Cauchy's integral test. So first we are going to start with check whether the series sigma 1 upon n square plus 1, where n is running from 1 to infinity, converges or diverges. So here un is 1 upon n square plus 1. So fx will be 1 upon x square plus 1. We are replacing n by x, that will give directly fx. Since fx is 1 upon x square plus 1, that is continuous function, it is decreasing on interval 1 to infinity. So we are going to apply the integral test. So applying the integral test, that will starting from 1 to infinite fx dx. So put the limits, and instead of an infinite limit, what we are going to do is we are going to replace infinity by some constant because it is a property of improper integrals that we are going to discuss in a chapter improper integral. So instead of infinity we are going to put some b and we are applying the limit b tends to infinite. So the your integration is now of the form limit b tends to infinity integration from 1 to b 1 upon x square plus 1 dx. But integration of 1 upon x square plus 1 is nothing but it is tan inverse. So you will have limit b tends to infinity tan inverse x where limit is from 1 to b. Applying upper and lower limit that will give you limit b tends to infinite tan inverse b minus tan inverse 1. And b tends to infinity, so you will have tan inverse infinity minus tan inverse 1. But tan inverse infinity has a value pi by 2 and tan inverse 1 has a value pi by 4. So that will give you final answer pi by 4 which is finite. Now the value of integration is finite, then your series is convergent by integral test. Same manner going on to one another example, test the convergence of series sigma n running from 2 to infinity 1 upon n log n. So we are here un is nothing but it is 1 upon n log n, correct? So replacing n with x that will give you fx. So fx is equal to 1 upon x into log x. Again this function is continuous and decreasing on interval 2 to infinity. As here you are limit of n is from 2 to infinite. So we have to check on interval 2 to infinity. So putting this value, using these values we are going to apply the integral test and integration 2 to infinity fx dx. That is nothing but integration 2 to infinity 1 upon x log x dx. Again applying the property of improper, that means replacing infinity by b or m and then any constant. So here we are putting m and applying limit m tends to infinite. Now rewriting the function 1 upon x log x in the form of 1 upon x divided by log x, that will give you form of f dash x upon fx. So integration of f dash upon f, that is nothing but log mod fx. So you will have finally answer limit m tends to infinity log of log x minus log of log 2. And if you are applying limit m tends to infinite, then you will have answer infinite. And since it is infinite, so by integral test your series is divergent. Now we are going to check one more example. Test the convergence of series sigma 2 tan inverse upon 1 plus n square dx. Now here un is 2 tan inverse upon 1 plus n square. Again replace n with x, that will give you fx, that is 2 tan inverse x upon 1 plus x square. This function is decreasing and is continuous on interval 1 to infinity. So applying integral test from 1 to infinite fx dx and using improper integral, that will give you limit m tends to infinite integration from 1 to infinity 2 tan inverse x upon 1 plus x square dx. So you can directly apply the formula of f dash into f, that will be fx square whole by fx whole square by 2, or here we are using the method of substitution. So putting tan inverse x is equal to t, that will give dx upon 1 plus x square is equal to dt. Now when x is 1, then t is tan inverse 1 and tan inverse 1 is nothing but pi by 4. Same manner x is m, then t is equal to tan inverse m, and putting all values in integral, that will give integration 1 to infinity fx dx, that is equal to limit m tends to infinity integration pi by 4 to tan inverse m to t dt. But to t as an integration t square, and putting upper and lower limit, that will give limit m tends to infinity tan inverse m whole square minus pi by 4 whole square. Now applying limit, that will give you tan inverse infinite, and tan inverse infinity is nothing but pi by 2. So you will have pi by 2 whole square minus pi by 4 whole square, that is pi square by 4 minus pi square by 16, that is nothing but 3 pi square by 16. Again this value is finite. So by Cauchy's integral test your series is convergent. Now we are going to check out the example of converse of the theorem which we have started with. So the converse of this theorem is not true that we have written there, and here we are going to prove it. Here you have a series, suppose sigma 1 upon n is a series, and then un is equal to 1 upon n and it has a limit 0, but your original series sigma 1 upon n is divergent. So limit has a value 0, that we have already checked. Now what is a u at 1 upon n? So fx will be 1 upon x. Applying integral test and simplifying it, that will give you limit m tends to infinity log x minus log 1. Correct? So simplifying all the terms and you will reach that the limit will be infinite. So if the limit is infinite, that means by integral test this series is divergent. And since this series is divergent but the limit is 0, that means whenever the limit of un is 0, then you cannot say directly that the original series is convergent or divergent. That you have to apply the another test for that to decide whether the given series is convergent or divergent. So these are the topics for today's session. If you have any query regarding these topics, then please feel free to contact me. Thank you.